When people talk about a housing bubble, do you know what they're talking about? This video will discuss what is meant by a housing bubble, and it will show you why the 2022 real estate market is not a housing bubble. Hi, I'm Caroline, and with my sister Mary, we are realtors with Prostead Realty in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. What is meant by a housing bubble? Price bubbles in general are when the value of something increases substantially and then falls drastically, like a bubble being popped. The housing market is not usually affected by price bubbles when compared to other assets. However, housing markets do sometimes go through periods of rapid price increases before falling back into line. In 2007 to 2008, the U.S. economy experienced a widespread housing bubble that had direct impact on bringing on the Great Recession. Real estate prices had increased and interest rates were low. There were relaxed lending standards, often with low down payment requirements. People who would otherwise never have been able to purchase a home became homeowners. This drove the home prices up even more. Also, homeowners were not building up equity in their homes either because of low down payments or borrowing against their equity. When the economy took a turn for the worse, many of the borrowers found themselves unable to pay their monthly mortgage. This caused prices to drop. Mortgage-backed securities were sold off in massive quantities, and mortgage defaults and foreclosures increased to unprecedented levels. So the concern is, if home prices are appreciating by double digits year over year, is this market beginning to form a housing bubble? Here are 4 reasons why today's market is nothing like the market leading up to the housing crash in 2007 to 2008. Number 1, houses are not unaffordable like they were leading up to the housing crash. The affordability of homes are determined by 3 components: the price of the home, wages of the purchaser, and the mortgage rates available. Conventional lending standards say purchasers should spend no more than 28% of their gross income on their mortgage payment. 15 years ago, home prices were high, wages were low, and the mortgage rates were over 6%. Today, home prices are still high, but wages have increased and mortgage rates are well below 6%. Therefore, the average purchaser today pays less of their monthly income towards their mortgage payments than they did back then. Here's a graph showing that homes are more affordable today than they were in 2007. Number 2, mortgage standards are no longer as relaxed. It was much easier to get a mortgage during the housing bubble in the mid-2000s. Let's just look at the credit score needed. A credit score between 550 and 619 is considered poor by credit.org. So any borrower with this credit score would be considered a high-risk borrower. Check out this graph showing the volume of loans in billions with a credit score below 620. Purchasers are much more qualified for the mortgages they have received over the past 10 years. Number 3, the foreclosure situation is totally different. Look at this graph showing the foreclosure situation then and now. Why are there so few foreclosures now? In the run-up to the housing bubble of 2007 and 2008, many homeowners were withdrawing money from the equity built up in their homes for other things. When the home values began to fall, some homeowners found themselves in a negative equity situation. This means they owed more on their mortgage than their home was worth. Some of these homeowners just walked away from their homes. This led to distressed property listings, either foreclosures or short sales, which sold at discounted prices, thus lowering the value of other homes in the area. Homeowners seem to have learned a lesson from the past. Homeowners have not been tapping into their home equity. Over 40% of homeowners in this country have more than 50% equity in their homes. Therefore, there will be nowhere near the same number of foreclosures that we saw during and after the crash. Number 4, we have a shortage of homes on the market. A balanced real estate market has approximately 6 months of inventory available. Anything more than that will cause prices to depreciate. It's called a buyer's market. Anything less than that is a shortage and will cause home prices to increase, or called a seller's market. As this graph shows, there were too many homes for sale from 2007 to 2010, many of which were short sales and foreclosures. Today, there's a shortage of inventory. Prices are continuing to rise because there's a demand for homeownership. At the same time, there's a shortage of supply of homes. So, as you can see, this market is very different from the housing crash of 15 years ago. If you enjoyed this video, check out this one on how now is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for sellers.